welcome to Daniel's Innovations. Like and subscribe.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Daniel's Innovations. This website here is Thingiverse. So it's www.thingiverse.com. And basically what it is, it's a platform that where a ton of artists will put up their work to share of 3D prints that are ready to go and send to the printer. So basically, all you have to do is type in the web address, come here, search for what you want, and like today we are going to be doing this file here. This is from Rocket Pig Games. I'm going to download, and then I also searched for a Stitch, so this guy here, and we're just going to download his 2 parts also. So then we'll close out of this now. And what I do, now those are ready to go to the printer from your downloads, but what I like to do is I like this app here. This is a free app on the computer called Autodesk Meshmaker. And basically what I can do now, I could take the 2 halves of the Stitch, and I could take the platform, and I could open them up in here. Now everything's going to look kind of overwhelming at first, but what we're going to do is a little at a time, we're going to fade them out. So they're still there, but you just can't see them. This will make everything a little easier to work with here. Okay. And what we're going to do, we're going to click on that. We're going to edit, align. We're going to go to the space point centered. So now that is perfectly center in the middle. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is transform, and we're going to shrink it down quite a bit. This isn't going to be too big of a print, but we'll accept. And now we're going to go back to align again, because now what it'll do, it'll drop it down. And now we're firm on the platform. See how this is where it technically is right now, and this is where it's going to be. See how it's clear there and solid here? So now we're going to hit accept. Alright, so now we got a spot for Stitch. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and change, and we're going to zoom out of the platform. It's technically there, but we're going to start with not his big head. Well, I guess we'll do the big head. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to combine these 2 right away. So what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, is I'm going to click on this one. We're going to edit, we're going to transform, and we're just going to kind of do a little playing around here. Then drop it down until we've got a head on it. And there you go. Just like that. Now we're going to just go ahead and combine them. Now that is one solid Stitch. Now we're going to... Oh, that's not what we wanted, so we're going to cancel out of that. Generate facial groups. And that will make Stitch look a little bit better. Edit, generate facial groups. And then we're gonna close this down just a little bit. I'll make them a little bit bigger. Okay, accept. And then we're going to align. And there he is. He'll be perfectly center on there. We'll accept. Then all we're going to do, we're going to bring him up just a little bit. Sit on his butt a little more. Scoot him back. Angle him just a little more. To where the butt touches first. Too much. And as you can see, we've got Stitch on a rock. So now what I can do, I can accept these terms. I can connect these now. And basically you've got your own 3D printed Stitch. That now, for me, I use a Flash Forge printer, but basically I can export this. Alright guys, now that we're in Flash Forge, and you can use any slicing software that you got depending on what printer you use. There's a ton of different slicing softwares, but basically they all operate about the same. So I'm going to add my documents. Alright guys, I got it loaded into Flash Forge here. And as you can see, we're firmly on the ground. Stitch is just kind of chilling there. So what we can do now is we can scale it to make it bigger or smaller, kind of whatever we want to do. We're going to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. So I normally operate in inches. And we're just going to go a little bigger, like that. Supports will help it when it gets to these ears, when it gets all over the place. So normally what I do is I normally do about 35%, which is more. The lower you are, the more supports that are going to go. So the higher this number is, the less supports. The post diameter. This I keep at 1.5 because if it's too thick, you cannot. It's a real pain to detach. The base diameter. The default is 3. I normally do 3.5. It just gives it a heftier base. And base height can stay the same. I normally do not click this, touch platform only, because sometimes there's certain places that the platform can't reach. So, and now what I'll do is, now that it has what I want, I can do auto supports. And now what it'll do, it'll fill it in those spots. See what I mean about the ears? Anything where there would be like drag on the thing. And these things will be very, very easy to detach. Alright, so now we're going to start slicing. I am using high-speed PETG. It automatically set the temperatures for me. Infill. So infill is how full you want the inside of it. So a lot of these things I do 8% fill. So really the only thing I change aside from default is I lower the fill density. Unless it's something that I really need bulky, all this, you won't even really be able to tell that it has less on the inside except to be a little lighter. And it's a real good thing, especially if you're like me where you buy one roll of filament at a time for your budget. It goes farther instead of putting that extra filament into something that you won't be able to tell the difference of anyway. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead, tell it can slice it. Now it's always going to ask if you want this raft or brim. When I first started 3D printing, I did the brim, and what it is, it makes it a platform underneath that is a real pain to get off on some prints. So I decided that I didn't like that, and I work with just the regular supports, and that normally works just fine for me. So I normally hit ignore here. So now it's slicing the software. Alright. Hey guys, so we got it off the 3D printer. We've got him. Looks kind of cool. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to sand him up. All right. Hey guys, so this is going to be the end of the video, but this is how Stitch turned out. So I finished sanding, and then my wife painted him up, and he ended up turning out like that. So he's a nice little addition to my work area, and he turned out really, really nice, I think. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool. So join us on the next one, like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.